Welcome back everybody to another one in my aviation history series, and this is episode 17 in my history of RCAF units. Now in today's video we're going to be looking at 414 Squadron, which was an interesting RCAF unit with an on-again, off-again history, but really one of the only squadrons, if not the only squadron still operational today, not assigned any aircraft. Now this unit's also one of the most loved in the RCAF, and I think we'll go into at the end we'll talk about why that is. But before I go too far more into this, my name is Sean, and this is Sean's Aviation. 414 Squadron was officially formed on August 12th of 1941 as an Army Cooperation Squadron, the second of the RCAF 400 series to be assigned this role. It was first stationed at Croydon as part of 35 Wing with the assigned squadron code of RU. It was initially assigned Westland Lysanders and Curtiss Tomahawks, but never flew either in actual operations. The unit spent the next few months training up for their role and gave up the Lysanders in June of 1942, replacing them with North American Mustang Mark Is. The aircraft had oblique cameras fitted behind the pilot, and they flew their first operational mission with these Mustangs on June 30th with a patrol over the south coast. The unit scored their first victory on August 19th while flying patrols over the Dieppe beaches, downing a Focke-Wulf 190. This is an interesting moment as it was also the first kill for the Mustang as a whole. It was accomplished by Flight Officer H. Hills, an American, flying in the RCAF in an American-built aircraft. In September, the unit retired the Tomahawk and flew only the Mustang Mark I. In December, the unit moved to Dunsfold, then on to Middle Wallop on February 1st of 1943. In an interesting moment of deja vu, the unit moved back to Dunsfold on February 20th and back again to Middle Wallop on April 9th. On May 26th, the unit transferred to Fighter Command under 11 Group and relocated to Harrowbeer. It was shortly after, in June, redesignated as a Fighter Reconnaissance Unit. On June 4th, it moved to Portreath, and on June 20th, back to familiar ground at Dunsfold. July 5th brought around some more changes as the unit was assigned to the 2nd Tactical Air Force and moved to Gatwick as part of 129 Wing. On July 31st, it moved to Weston Zoyland and then back to Gatwick on August 10th, then quickly on to Ashford on August 13th. During all of this time, it flew many pre- and post-mission photo mapping missions to assess bomb damage as well as locate V-1 launching sites. October 5th, 1943 brought a move to 128 Wing and it relocated to Woodchurch, moving to Red Hill on October 15th. On November 3rd, it moved back to 129 Wing and was based at Gatwick, then on to Peterhead in Scotland on February 4th of 1944 for a stint of armament training. On February 20th, it moved back down to Odiham, then back up to Dundonald, Scotland on February 29th. On March 11th, it moved back to Gatwick, and it moved back over to 128 Wing on April 1st with a move back to Odiham. This brings us all the way up to D-Day on June 4th of 1944, where it was tasked with spotting naval shelling of the French coastline and then moved into daily reconnaissance of the front line, reporting on any German movements. On July 1st, it was transferred over to 39 Wing, but continued to be based at Odiham. At the beginning of August, the unit retired their Mustang Mark Is, one of the last units to operate them on frontline duties. They replaced them with Spitfire Mark IXs equipped with cameras and continued their fighter reconnaissance duties. On August 15th, the unit moved across the channel to the continent, and as we have seen with other units, it hopped from base to base as the front lines moved farther and farther east. The bases they were located at are as follows. August 15th, B-21, Saint-Honorin-de-Ducy, France. August 29th, B-26, Illiers, France. September 3rd, B-44, Poix, France. September 7th, B-56, Evere, Belgium. September 20th, B-66, Blankenberg, Netherlands. October 3rd, B-78, Eindhoven, Netherlands. March 7th of 1945, B-90, Petit Brogel, Belgium. April 11th, B-108, Rhine, Germany. April 17th, B-116, Wunstorf, Germany. April 28th, B-154, Soltau, Germany. Finally, May 7th, B-156, Lüneburg, Germany. The unit was disbanded on August 7th of 1945 while based at Lüneburg, Germany. As a side note, the unit did receive a few Spitfire Mark 14s between April and August, but I can find very little reference to what, if any, operations were flown with these. By the end of World War II, the unit had flown 6,087 sorties, amassing 7,738 operational hours. It was credited with 29 aircraft destroyed, 1 probable, and 11 damaged. It destroyed or damaged 76 locomotives, 13 assorted vessels, 30 electrical pylons, and a number of other miscellaneous targets. It suffered 19 pilots lost or missing and 4 POWs. The post-war life of 414 began on April 1st of 1947 when No. 14 Photographic Unit at Rockcliffe was renamed 414 Squadron. It was assigned the squadron code AQ and flew Dakota transports and photography missions mapping the vast Arctic regions of Canada. The unit was disbanded on November 1st of 1950 when the mission was deemed complete. It was reactivated on November 1st of 1951 at RCAF Bagotville as a Sabre Squadron, and then moved to Europe in the summer of 1952 as part of Operation Leapfrog 4. If you do want to learn more about Operation Leapfrog, please check out my video linked above. It was based at Bad and Solingen as part of 4 Wing and provided frontline defense in the case of a Soviet invasion. It started out flying Sabre Mark 4s, upgrading to Sabre Mark 5s in November of 1953, and finally Sabre Mark 6 in July of 1955. In 1956, it was decided that 1 Sabre squadron from each wing would be deactivated and replaced with an all-weather CF-100 squadron, and 414 was selected and it was officially deactivated on July 4th of 1957. This did not last long, as it was reactivated on August 5th at RCAF North Bay as an all-weather fighter unit itself, flying CF-100 Mark 5s. In February of 1962, the unit replaced their CF-100s with CF-101s and continued to act as a frontline defense unit against possible Soviet bombers coming across the Arctic. With the general drawdown of the RCAF in the late 1960s, 414 was selected to be deactivated, which took place on June 30th, 1964. The unit was once again reactivated on September 15th of 1967, this time as an electronic warfare unit based at St. Hubert, and initially flew CF-100 Mark 5s. In August of 1972, the unit moved back to CFB North Bay and added both the CC-117 Falcon and the unique EF-101B Electric Voodoo to its roster. In 1992, it was decided to split the squadron, with half going to Comox as 414 Squadron and the other half going to Greenwood as 434 Squadron. In 1993, the unit changed to a combat support unit and was re-equipped with CT-133s and used to help train Canadian Forces personnel in various manners. It was disbanded in 2002 when this task was contracted out to Top Aces, a Canadian company. In 2007, it was decided to reactivate 414 once again as an electronic warfare support unit, and it is based in Ottawa, but not at the airport. It consists solely of quote-unquote backseaters who fly in the back of Top Aces Alpha jets and help support the training of various RCAF units and personnel.
So as I mentioned, 414 Squadron is one of the most loved units in the RCAF, and the only reason I can think of is it's got a cool name, 414 Black Knight Squadron, with that really cool squadron logo. And other than that, there really isn't anything quite specific as to why it is considered such a famous and well-known squadron. Now, even with its on-again and off-again service, 414 has performed invaluable service to the RCAF over the years, and even though it's considered sort of a non-flying unit with no pilots or aircraft assigned, it is still fulfilling a valuable role for the RCAF in various training requirements performed by Top Aces. But who knows, maybe one day in the future, 414 will get aircraft back and revert back to a full status flying squadron. And on that note, I'm going to wrap it up here. So thank you for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for watching, guys, and as always, if you are interested in any of the content you see, you can access my website at www.seans-aviation.com. You can see all the latest pictures of aircraft and museums and the build logs of all of my current models and past models on that site. And if you're interested in any of this content, please click the subscribe button here on YouTube to follow more. Thank you very much, and see you guys next time.